hearing us, how the audio sounds, what the overall quality is of the 93-95 frequency, and that is the information that we're trying to gather this weekend, in addition to giving you some great programming. So bear with us throughout the launch. We really look forward to the coming week and really getting all of our different websites and website features and components up and running, and fully announcing our program list. So stick around. I think we've got some great stuff in store for you here on Global 24 Radio. Thank you so much.
This is PCJ Radio International.
On shortwave, satellite, and the internet, this is Media Network Plus.
Hello, I'm Keith Powell, and welcome to another edition of the program. Well, it's a pretty well-known fact that censorship is a powerful tool in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party. Now, I can tell you a number of experiences firsthand, but we'll keep that to another show. Evelyn Chow is a freelance journalist, author, and editor, now based in New York City. She's been writing about the 5 years she spent in China working at an English-language business magazine. Mark Holbein had a chance to sit down with her and asked her what she experienced working for the business publication in China when it came to censorship.
We published in English, which is not censored as strictly in China, and we were a business publication, which is also not censored quite as strictly. But the main things we found were our publisher had something he called the 3 Ts, which stood for Tiananmen, Tibet, and Taiwan. He always said those were the sort of 3 most taboo topics in Chinese media. And I would suspect any outlet in TV, radio, print, online.
You would say 6-4 for June the 4th.
Oh, yes.
How was that communicated to him? Is there a censor in a government office somewhere, or is there a censor sitting in the offices where you work?
In our case, we had a censor that we communicated with by email, and occasionally she would stop by the office just to sort of meet us all and touch base. This editor in question, they had 5 censors, and he's an employee on staff who would communicate with them, so it was 2 degrees removed via email.
You've been writing about one who you call Snow, and people used to talk about being snow plowed, for instance, when they were censored.
Yeah, that's right.
What was
her
she
name
like?
She was middle-aged, I would say early 40s, glasses, a little flighty, a little nervous all the time, very, very concerned about backseat, about getting into trouble, and reminded me really of one of my own Chinese relatives.
In the form of actual censors who pretty much put blue pencils through articles. But we haven't really talked about the automated censorship that happens on the internet. What can you tell us about that?
The internet in China is censored a couple of ways. I think a lot of people outside of China have heard of something called the Great Firewall, and this is the government's mechanism for blocking websites censoring. So the New York Times website got blocked earlier this year. Facebook is blocked in China, YouTube, Twitter, and this is all done through the Great Firewall. On top of that, an interesting thing that less people know about is that the government has really put the responsibility for censoring onto the individual internet content provider companies themselves. But they're liable for stuff that gets posted on their platforms, posted in blogs, even said via chat. So, for example, there's a company called Sina Weibo, which is basically the Chinese equivalent to Twitter. And they do a couple of different things to censor. It kind of changes all the time. They're always tweaking. It's estimated that there's about 1,000 censors employed at, and they block search returns. It's one technique. So you might tweet something about Ai Weiwei's arrest, for example. And you'll see that tweet go up.
That's the artist, Ai Weiwei.
Oh, yeah. you'll see the tweet go up. It will appear in your feed normally, but if other people go search Ai Weiwei, your tweet will not appear. And it's a way for them to balance the tension that they have of, on the one hand, needing to meet the government